double cab buckies just seem to be getting bigger and bolder and larger all the time. The new P500 from GWM is an absolute classic example of that. Just look at the sheer size of this thing. Just the bulk, the size, how large it is overall. You can even tell by the size of the logo on the front grille. It's gigantic. It's massive. Everything about this thing just shouts big, bold, large at me. And it goes large with technology and luxury as well in every single respect. This grille in your rear view mirror on the highway screams, get out of the way, move over, I'm coming through. And it's got the power to match the torque. That's the point. Just very bold. Even look at the treatment on the headlights. Everything about it is big and bold. Except maybe one thing that I've just picked up now, just been looking at. The 18-inch wheels over here. Yes, if you're going to go off-road, because it is totally off-road capable, it's got the off-road ability and it's got room for articulation. But I can't help thinking, can you imagine these wheel arches filled with a bigger wheel? For street cred, it could look pretty mean. I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas around just as it comes to me while I'm busy playing around looking at the vehicle. We'll look obviously at the driver's seat and the cab in a few moments, but let's look at the back seat. To start off, pop open the rear door. The important fact is a good solid side step, and believe me, if ever I needed a side step to get up into a vehicle, it's this one. Take a seat in the back over here. Now this is where, and this is the top spec ultra luxury version. Keep that in mind, please, because it is important. Full leather trim. Look at this. First time I've ever seen it on a bucky. Electric adjustment on the back seat. Okay, and it's separate for the two sides, not just one for all three across the whole over there. Now that's something I've just not seen before. You come to the center console over here in the back. Air vents, heat, warming and cooling for left and right. Yes, for the rear seat, you got it. Believe it or not. And down below, it's a bit difficult to see there. You've got a 12 volt and two USBs for the back seat as well. So you've got all of these things over there, allowing for rear seat passenger comfort. You've even got the limo function over here. So if you're sitting in the back, I suppose more on the left there, you can actually push the front passenger seat out the way and even flatten it if you wanted to give yourself stretch out limo space. Back left. And this is a bucky, excuse me. Infinity sound system even. There's something going on that's kind of weird in my book. I keep calling this a bucky and then I show you features like that. Who knows what goes on in the world today? And when you discuss price, let's not talk about that, because what is this thing? I've shown you, it's big, it's bold, it's brutish. We'll talk the engine in a second. It's got the space, it's got the power, it's got the luxury. And hey, check there. It's got a buck on the back too. Yeah, this thing is, could it be, and it's not unique, there are other brands that are doing something similar, but is this genuinely the best of both worlds? Press over here and look at this, it's got something else. And that's been done, I think, on American buckies, but the first time in South Africa, where you can literally open the tailgate 60-40 like that. Look at that. Now, I always struggle to get into the back of a buck when it's got the tailgate flapped down, or even when it's still up. This makes it so much easier, so much better. In that respect, it all depends on what you're using it for. It all depends on what you're wanting to do with your bucky. But this, as a leisure bucky, boy oh boy. And it does have full 4x4 capability, just by the way. It also has that badge there, HEV, hybrid. Yes, this is powered by the GWM hybrid engine. It's this 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine, obviously turboed, but with hybrid assistance, with a hybrid engine, that motor that gives you a total of 255 kilowatts, 648, yes, Newton meters of torque, and all driving through a 9-speed automatic gearbox. Let's check it on the road and let's have a look at what I've been raving about the cab. Cruising out on the open road in the P500 HEV hybrid electric, because this is the one with the 2-litre turbo petrol engine with hybrid assistance. That gives you a total of 255 kilowatts and 642 Newton meters of torque. 8-speed automatic gearbox. This is a luxury car. Just happens to have a buck on the back. And by luxury, I'm talking about its ultra luxury spec in GWM speak, which means it has everything. And by the way, if you're looking at the moment, we're following the same P500. We're following one of the 2.4 diesel versions. Other option you can get on this engine. So just as an option, just to know it is also available. Interesting to know. But let me tell you, this ride is smooth, it's comfortable. We're on a bad piece of road right now, in case you wonder, but it really has got a great ride comfort, great ride ability. It's got all the extras. I've got a big heads-up display in front of me, wireless Android Auto on the 15-inch touchscreen, cooling and heating on the seats. I think you're getting the picture. This is quite something. It's not a bakkie, I'm sorry. It's a luxury car that just happens to have a load buck on the back. And of course we're stuck behind a couple of big trucks that are crawling, even though we're out on the open road. Jumping in behind the wheel. Instrumentation obviously fully digital. Everything you want you scroll through using a button on the wheel. A very full comprehensive heads-up display in front of me. Again, on a bakkie? Okay. But comprehensive, obviously gives you navigation, gives you everything else. But now if you think I'm only raving about this vehicle, there's the one. There's the one thing that I've got to put as a negative. It's a hybrid. You're expecting unreal, ridiculously low fuel economy, weren't you? I reset that. Yes, that has only been urban driving. We did an open road cruise, but only urban driving, and it's showing 13.4 litres per 100. There's your disadvantage. I've got to put it that way. You go past that, that is a worst figure. You'll get between 10 and 11 on the open road, which is still not incredible, but is comparable to some other vehicles in this category. But just keep that figure in mind. You've got obviously absolutely everything on the steering wheel that you expect. I'm not going to go through all of it. You've got paddles behind the wheel. All these things, you know you're going to get them. I'm not going to go through them in detail. Gigantic infotainment screen. What other word can I use for this? It is so big, but it gives you everything. It's comprehensive. It's got everything you want. Look at that. You can see screen mirroring. I'm not going to go through the details because it's just too much. But what is important is, of course, your camera system. There you go. It's got intelligent parking reverse. I haven't used it at all. You know me, I don't use these things. And it's even got a clear chassis function over there. If you want to go off-road, if you want to. I don't, you know that, but let's not go there, okay? But it's got all of these functions. You come down below. How's the touch of an analog clock over there? Just looks neat, doesn't it? And proper buttons for your aircon system. Thank you for that. You've got an inductive charging pad over here and a nice little feature. There are USBs for the front down below. You can't see them. It's just awkward to get to. But you've actually got a little hole to feed the cable through if you want to use cable. That goes down over there instead of having the cable coming around and in the way of your leg while you're driving. Such a neat little touch. Gear shift works 9-speed auto. You never feel a thing. You never know a thing. It just carries on, does its job, which I love. You've got your multi-modes over here where obviously it scrolls through sport mode, which I never touched, eco mode, and you've got all of those over there. Normal, sport, eco. Okay, they're there for you to use. Around the gear lever, you've got heating and cooling, obviously for the front seat, seeing as you have for the back. You've got 4 low over there if you want it, and you've got front and rear diff locks. All of it. Again, will you take this off-road? I don't know, but if you choose to do so, you can. That's the crux of the matter. Unusual no bakkie. Look at that. And it's almost a panoramic sunroof. Call it what you want. It's not important. I keep repeating myself. This is a luxury vehicle that just happens to have a buck on the back. It's got power, doesn't have economy. Sorry, that's the one thing you are totally losing out on. Live with it. But it's got absolutely everything else, and it comes in, listen to this, at 1 million rand. 909. There are two other versions of the Bakkie, of the P500, powered by 2.4 litre diesel engine. I did drive one for a very short test. Obviously, you're going to get way better fuel economy. You'll get in the 9s or whatever it is in that one, if that's what you want. That comes in luxury and super luxury, not ultra luxury like this one. Gets a bit confusing. Petrol engine's just kicked in again now. It's a bit confusing, but it does work and it does make sense. We had these super luxury on test. It may lose a few of the extra features, but those come in at 800 and 880 as opposed to 1 million. Well, it's up to you what you want, and it's up to you to take your choice. There are one or two Bakkies on the market that offer what this offers at similar and even more money. But if you want an Uber Bakkie, how's that for a word? And I don't mean Uber as in ride sharing. You want an Uber Bakkie. This is one of very few that you can choose from. Go and drive one for yourself. You are going to be totally amazed. For MotorMatters, I'm Alan Nair, and I'll see you next time.